Thanks for tuning in to the Loser Kid Pinball Podcast. We are on episode 113. I am Josh Roop. With me, my co-captain,
Scott Larson.
And Scott, it's been an amazing week, hasn't it?
It's okay. It's been ups and downs.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'll say that.
Okay. There's been a new release.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard, maybe you're under a rock, but Venom has now released. And we're going to talk all about it tonight. But if you want to order that Venom, where are you going to buy it from, Scott?
I'd contact Zach and Nicole Mini. And they sold out of their LEs, but they were able to get some more. So if you're interested in an LE, last I checked, they seem to be able to finagle a few. So if you are looking to pick up that new Venom, and we're going to talk about Venom today,
Yes.
I'm a lot more interested than I was at the beginning. I guess I'll put it that way.
I agree.
So definitely contact Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out Pinball.
Definitely. If you want to get that Venom, get a hold of them. They've got other games as well. They got plenty in stock. If you're ever curious to what they have, we highly recommend going on their Facebook page, Flipping Out Pinball. And they have a whole list there of games that they have in inventory, willing and ready to ship to you. So hit them up. You know you want to.
Absolutely.
Well, Scott, you kind of alluded to it during our little us talking about flipping out. What have you thought of Venom so far?
Okay, well,
Do we start at the beginning with the teaser?
I'm going to start. Yeah, let's start with the teaser.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me your thoughts on the teaser.
Okay. So first off, I wasn't really super excited for Venom. I think we've kind of already, I was in the same boat as Godzilla, right? Like, it's just, I know what it is.
It's a C theme.
Yeah.
It is. I would say that when the movie came out, it probably bumped it up to a B theme. It was
Tom Hardy movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was a fun one. I enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
But it was still it was not mandatory viewing if you're into superhero movies.
Okay. I agree.
But this is not the Tom Hardy movie, but I don't think this would have been made without the Tom Hardy movie.
I agree. I still think the theme's a little like not, I don't think it draws as many people at this point. And, going back to the teaser, the art looks fantastic. Like
Right.
Zombie Yeti, I don't think he's had a bad art package yet, right?
No.
And he's really brought it with this one. I know a lot of complaints is he uses a lot of reds.
Red, but Carnage is red. So
yeah, but it was nice because it seemed like he leaned heavily on the blacks and blues with red to, obviously highlight Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who cares? I like red.
Yeah.
My hat's red, so we're good.
It doesn't bother me one bit. I think overall, like, I still was kind of like, well, now I'm getting a little intrigued, right? Like, vocals sound good. It all sounded really well in the teaser trailer. And so, what shocked me is how long this game has been teased. Like, not even teased. Like, we thought
rumored. It's certainly been rumored for years.
And so it kind of shocked me that like nothing had really leaked,
right?
Pushing it back another year and whatnot. And even
so what took its place? Let's talk about that.
What took its place was Bond, I think.
Yeah.
So, and Bond, I'm hearing, I do know someone that got a Bond and they're actually really enjoying it. It's one of their favorite games in their collection right now because of the new code update that's really fleshed out the game.
And I predicted that. I predicted if you're a Bond fan, if you're willing to wait it out, then they would be able to fill it out because the layout I think is good. It's still not my favorite layout. I'm still not a huge fan of the left side with the scoop because when I'm playing it gets into that left scoop all the time, and then it shoots out and it's out of control. So the layout's okay, but with the new rules on board, it actually is a fun game. Like my friend picked up an LE.
Yeah.
And we had a great time playing it the other day.
Well, good. And I think, to tie this back to Venom.
Yeah. Oh, no, but I'm curious, like, why do you think that it was pushed for a year?
I really don't know.
This is us speculating, by the way. No one has any idea, but it was obvious that they were planning on releasing it last year because they had a booth with Todd McFarlane. And by the way, I will correct myself, because I thought that Todd McFarlane was a Spider-Man artist who ended up becoming very famous. Apparently, he did like co-create Venom. So
What?
that's why Todd was there last year.
Yeah.
I'm assuming to anticipate the release, and the only thing I can possibly think of, like Ozzy Osbourne being there, is because there's an Osbourne in the character, I guess.
Well, until VH1 does a behind the pinball machine, right? Like,
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know until we don't get the stories out of the
Mm.
guys except for like the old Bally Williams stuff we get information on because
Because it's
that
30 years old.
yeah, and that company doesn't exist anymore. So what's it going to hurt it to release that information?
Right.
Maybe this is all speculation. Maybe originally it did have Todd McFarlane and Ozzy Osbourne in the game, but they had to revamp because of licensing issues or something like that. It is kind of bizarre. And the other funny part too is so let's move past the teaser
Okay.
and finally Monday Stern puts out like a full week long schedule, right? And uh releases on Tuesday. It finally releases and there's no Ozzy Osbourne as
Mm-hmm.
far as I can tell. I don't know if Todd's had any involvement in the game. But the interesting part about this is when they released it, at least if you listen to the Stern Insider podcast, they talked about it was at like 0.72, and that's
Mm-hmm.
releasing now, which I thought was very strange because if we pushed it another year out and it was, we don't know how ready it was for Comic Con
Shouldn't
last
it
year.
be 1.72?
Yeah, and that's what we've kind of like been talking about.
Yeah.
But after looking at Dwight's on the game and
Yeah.
how many pages is the PDF for the rule sheet? Do you
Over
remember?
over 30.
Yeah, it's like 31 pages of rules. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because
Yeah.
maybe they spend that time just solely putting in rules to this game.
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. What was your first thoughts when you saw that the trailer leaked like an hour early?
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't the trailer. Sorry, on Monday, they had accidentally put it into a playlist under YouTube as
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't listed, but if you knew the link, like
Yeah, I didn't see it. You saw it because you sent it to me, and then when I clicked on it, they had already made it a private link.
yeah,
So I didn't see it until it finally became public.
yeah. Um, I don't know, and that the artwork still looked great to me. Like it was reaffirming that like it's still gonna look great. What were your initial thoughts when finally Tuesday hit and 10 o'clock hit and they released the game trailer?
You know what? Not good.
Okay.
To be blunt, I looked at the game and I eyeballed it and I said, "This, it looks like almost everything is in the back third of the game."
Yep.
It felt very, very open.
Yeah.
Um, and my initial thoughts were it could be a P3 game.
I do remember you saying that.
Yeah, because it looks like something that you could drop into a generic playfield that has flippers on it, and they're starting to do that on P3 where they're able to bring things down the side.
Yeah.
So that was my initial thought, and I was confused, I guess.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I was confused. It was what, a minute long trailer? I don't even know if it was that long, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
over.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was so confused. Like, it's funny because I went and posted on our Facebook. I shared the Stern stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they put like they reused the Ferris wheel mech from Comet because
Right.
that's what that
It's what it looked
ramp,
like. It's what
yeah,
it
the
looked like.
scoop, and then the way it moves and everything, and the way that
Yeah.
they presented it in that first trailer.
Yeah.
At first glance, I was like, yeah, that's what that is. After watching the trailer numerous times, it's like, oh, that's not exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Um, and I still, it wasn't till Jack Danger and Brian Eddy like
Yep. We're
did the
playing it.
stream last night
Yep.
and explaining it and watching it actually like the game literally evolve as you're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, like this is like a change, like the full game is a change state game.
Yes.
And so I guess I think the problem I've had with all of this so far is I just don't feel like this has been communicated properly. Like,
They have not controlled their own message,
correct.
and it's sad.
Which is weird because I feel like it's the same like they did with Bond as well. Like the
Yeah,
message was not clear on that one as well.
yeah.
And then, so with Venom, I just I wasn't super excited until I listened to the Stern Insider podcast and it was
Hmm.
explained this whole game's based off of experience points. This is almost like a video
This
game
is a
pinball.
video game,
Yeah.
and it's set up like an RPG, an
Yep.
online RPG.
Yeah. You're leveling up. There's 4 characters you can play as. You can level
Hmm.
up each character,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just the yourself. This is all
Hmm.
tied to your Insider connected. So say you're playing this on a location, it goes with you when you leave. And then once you actually get to a certain part in the game, you can unlock Hulk, Captain America, and Wolverine
Yeah.
and have those unlocked for the rest of the game.
And,
Once you hit
and I'm sorry, keep going.
no, you're good. Like it boggles my mind. Like I'm really impressed with what Dwight has come up with this. Like
Right.
this system. It's very unique. Well, I guess Ray Day and Dwight, they're both
Yeah.
being um I just they should be pushing that. I don't
Yeah.
understand why they're not pushing that.
Can I get into some concerns?
Yes, go for it.
The concern I have is along the lines of we have always said we want something different.
Yeah.
And Marty puts it as we want something different, but not that. And so,
Yes.
and that's typically our go to response when
Yeah.
something different comes out. So, does that mean is this going to is this going to be something that carries to the pinball audience because it is different.
Yeah.
It's this is not a system that we're used to in pinball.
Yeah.
Uh, is that and also what happens if you have a location that does not activate the insider connected?
True.
So you're gonna have some issues with that, and I would say the majority you're definitely catering to a crowd that's 30s and 20s
Yeah.
because they're used to there's going to be a lot more crossover in that demographic with video games than in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
I agree.
And I haven't played those type of games in 15 years.
Yeah.
So that's a different demographic. If that's what they're going for, then this could be a reach. Another question is, was that planned?
What was what planned?
What was it planned to say, hey, we are going to design a game that has a lot more in common with video games and online video games? And if that was a planned strategic choice, which
Yeah.
I hope it was. I think
I
it
think it
should
is.
be.
I think it is.
Why did they not push it at all? We basically had to figure that out on our own while watching the reveal stream.
Yeah. Well, it
So
helped. It helped to it helps that we sat there and we talked to Travis Murray and Joel
yeah.
Engelberth and Tom and Travis gets paid to watch the stuff over and over.
Well,
And then
Travis is
he's
also a top player, and so is
yeah,
Tom. And so they're going to dissect things very quickly.
but Travis is getting paid to dissect, right? Like
Yes, that's true.
up front. And so
Hmm.
like he's telling us this as we're because I'm not gonna lie, if I wasn't friends with Travis at this point, I don't know if I'd still understand half of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they really should be pushing like save your progress and like level up your
Hmm.
game and because they came straight out and was like this isn't a mode based game, but it's got modes in it.
Yeah.
So it's like so it doesn't revolve around the
Well,
modes.
it's an
What is it?
activation game.
Yeah.
You can activate a mode based on experience levels.
So is that frustrating though to you? Like is that frustrating that like you don't get everything up front when you because pinball's always been like everything's available so long as your skill level is able to activate it. Where this is like you doesn't it the longer you play, the
Right.
easier the game can get.
However, he did say that if you're they do have a speed run option in this.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so there is a way of logging in, and if you have the skill set of Raymond Davidson, I'm pretty sure you could get to level 50 in one game.
Yeah. I agree.
So that's not prohibitive, but the question I have also is that advantageous that you are always crawling toward a higher level?
Yeah.
Does it top out at like 50? Does it top out at 99?
I think they said 50.
Okay, so you top out at 50. Are there people who are gonna, like video games? A lot of players of video games will say, "I beat the game," and so they sell it and they never play it again.
Yeah. Well,
Is
and it
is that going to happen with something like this?
well, that's what's crazy too. Like this is definitely like new territory.
Hmm.
I don't know why they're not pushing this. This is brand new territory in pinball. I don't This has never been done before.
No,
And like you said, let's say you do beat the game. Let's say you own Venom, you beat the game, you have it all saved to your account, and you just and granted, I think you can reset it. They did talk about like you can reset your levels and stuff like
sure,
that. But let's say you sell the game and like you keep it saved through your phone and whatnot. I mean, do you have the urge to buy it back? And if not, you could just go out on location and find it and just boom, there's
right.
your
There's your progress. Yeah,
so it's there's so much unknowns to
right.
this. And maybe we're just like super we're so overthinking what's going on right now.
Okay, but we've all bought games,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so we're not naive to pinball.
Yeah.
We're used to what a game is. So this is a huge risk in that they have completely deviated from what their historic titles are. Now they have more technology.
Yes.
So Insider Connected has definitely made this possible. And I I applaud them for trying something.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I agree.
will it be successful? That's yet to be determined. However, I would argue that the response has been so far either no
It's been lukewarm at best.
or still fact finding,
Yeah.
just question, like trying to get more information about it. But I don't know too many people that are jumping on to by now.
I agree. Well, that's what concerns me as well. Like why
Right.
this game okay, let's talk about layout. It's a
Okay.
fan layout.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's basically the ultimate fan layout
Yes. Like
because the first two thirds really are an open canvas.
yep.
It is way open.
Yeah, but the interesting part is because of those locks,
Yeah.
pretty much holding the balls at half filled, at
Yeah.
half, you know, it becomes ridiculously fast to play this game.
Okay, so that's actually what I was going to bring up. I was going to
Okay.
bring up, how Black Knight, one of the complaints is that the shots were about halfway up the field.
Yeah.
It was basically like a mini game, and so it was brutal from the start.
Yep.
In that you were firing it and it was coming back at you so fast. Well, this is kind of a hybrid where the balls are coming back because you hit a ramp and it kicks a ball out a lot faster than you think it's going to.
Yeah.
And so you're getting the balls back, but you're not getting as much ricochet. I wonder if they considered that. Because why else would you design these dispensers on the right and left? And the right is even lower on the playfield. The right looks like it's about 66% down on the playfield. The left looks about
Uh,
50% down.
and I don't know if that's because like they took into consideration it is a fan layout.
Yeah.
And so fan layouts are typically panned as like super easy, which they're not wrong. Like
Right.
but
Well, there's only 7 shots, really. There's
on
one,
Venom,
two. Okay, so I'm counting. There's one, two, three on the left. There's the ramp up the middle, and then
okay.
you have so that's 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess there's 8 targeted shots.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
you see. Well, I guess there's 9 if you want to count the bell tower.
yeah, but still, like overall, the game. Watching it last night, it moved really fast, and
It did,
May that's
and
great that the safe progression. May that was a very knowledgeable thing because they're like, well, if this plays too long,
right,
then the safe progression system is not really going to be worth much. Then,
right.
if you can do it all in the first run and you're a novice, there's a problem.
Okay, so
So
let's talk about the other issue. Is that not issue? The complete unknown on how uh, how people will receive this is that depending on which host you choose, it reconfigures the game. At least
on the
on the
premium, yes,
premium and LE one.
which is insanely cool to me.
It's really cool
Can you
because
think of
you
any
have
other
different
game?
shots.
There's no other game they've done this on.
Well, okay, now there are games that we're used to having diverters on. And
Diverters,
so and okay, to be fair, that's kind of what this is.
yeah,
It's basically a diverter that it changes from ball to ball that you
true,
can do.
but like I guess Godzilla's the only other one I can think of. Like in Godzilla, obviously, if you hit the building enough, it drops down and it changes the path of the balls
Right.
going through the ramps.
Which was
Uh,
diverters, yeah.
Correct, but like this is from the get go is technically like four. I don't want to say
4
four
different
different
playfields.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's 4 different layouts. It is because the shots are the same, but the balls come back differently.
yeah, and really the only thing that stays the same is the orbits. I want to say
Mhm.
because most of the ramps and even the middle shots and everything all change to some extent, and it's I don't know, it's insanely cool. Like
Mhm.
I don't get why there's a lukewarm reception to this game
Well,
based off
I
of if you're a
do.
true hardcore pinball fan.
Yeah,
Like it throwaway theme because obviously
right.
Godzilla, like I said, Godzilla, which
Godzilla was a sea theme.
C
Yeah.
theme. I would put Venom above Godzilla at this
Oh,
point.
yes, I would.
I
I would.
don't. Are we just? I mean, look at movie theaters. I guess superhero movies are not doing great right now. Is it because of
Well,
that? Like, is there just a whirlwind of stuff? Because I know that people do complain about Dwight Code. I know people either love it or hate it, but the problem is too is sometimes you have to
it's
wait for
long. It takes a
it's
long time. That's
yeah,
my biggest concern with Dwight is that he is so passionate about it that it can take him a long time to really flesh out a code set. And even then, he has radically changed many code sets.
yes,
I mean, Game of Thrones went through that.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters went through that,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
it's
I don't feel like Ninja Turtles did, but the Ninja Turtles did take a balancing of the score as
it
well.
did, yeah.
And you can already tell that with Venom. Like when we watched last
Mhm.
night, what was it? It was like Mayhem Multi-Ball.
Yeah,
If you start off as Eddie Brock, and I think maybe he even was more leveled up. Um, Once you got into Mayhem Multi-Ball, it just destroyed the game. Like
yeah,
2 billion on one ball, and the
yeah,
next closest score was 33 million.
yeah.
And he was telling us like, oh, there's like a back door to get into that, and it gives you like 2x. And he was talking about the
Mhm.
multipliers and everything. It's like, oh, great! Like, so I can get my butt handed to me. Like,
Yeah, it's yeah, that was unfortunate
yes,
to see because you don't want to if you're going into if you're playing for points, you
yeah,
don't want to be beat because someone knows an exploit that makes a 10 times multiplier happen.
I agree. I really hope, like, I love Dwight, and I really think that his code, like, his rules are very unique from what everyone
Mhm.
else is doing.
Right.
I hope he's doing the rule set and Raymond's doing the coding, because the issue I had with Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
is there was a lot of glitches, and I don't know if that was specifically for Dwight or whatnot, but like I remember like I'd get into a multi-ball and the whole
Yeah.
game would shut down if you did
Yeah.
something and reset itself. And I
Well,
don't have that issue with any of my other games behind me.
I could be I could be mistaken, but I would bet that the lead coders are more of the rule set
Gotcha.
designers,
Hmm.
and they have other people who are doing the code,
It's a
like
possibility.
writing the physical code,
Yeah.
because there's no need for there's there's no need for the master architect, and even even Lyman wasn't, when they were talking with Josh Sharp and they were talking about the Cactus Canyon continued code. It was Lyman fleshing out all the rules.
Yeah, he was coming up with the
He was
concepts.
coming up with the concepts, and
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what I'm assuming Dwight's doing. I could be completely wrong.
So we've touched on this a little bit, and we've been so scatterbrained, but it's hard because there's so much information on this one.
Mm-hmm.
We both agreed there has been a lukewarm reception. If you haven't heard, a lot of distributors have either turned down allotment, or the allotment that they do have isn't moving as quickly as they thought.
Right.
Why do you think there's such a lukewarm reception to this game?
I would attribute it to two things.
Okay.
One, the game is different.
Okay.
It is not your typical game.
No, it's not.
So there's this. I don't know what this is, and that's what people are saying. I'm not sure what this is, and so they're evaluating it based on historical games.
Yeah.
So they're looking at this game and saying, "Huh, well, basically like you and I did. Well, it looks like there's 8 shots in a fan layout. Okay, pretty art."
Yeah.
But when you look at it and they actually have all these state changes that make it reconfigure it depending on which host you are, it does make it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the question is that good? So people know what they get with other games. People just don't understand what they're getting with this game. And it could be a huge hit. What I'm concerned with is this could be another Stranger Things thing.
Yeah.
Where we all know Stranger Things wasn't, it was a very lukewarm reception because it was basically a retheme of Attack from Mars.
Yeah.
But guess what? Attack from Mars is a great game.
Yeah.
And so they cut production short. Then people said, hey, wait, this is a great layout and it's a theme I like. And then they didn't have anymore.
Yeah, and that's one of the only games that's still commanding high dollar right now.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I'm concerned that this won't have enough velocity for people to experience it, because you at least need people who are willing to take a chance
Yeah.
at buying this and letting people play it.
I think also what's going to, it's hurting it and it's helping it. And the reason I
Okay,
say this is the production schedule doesn't actually start till September.
that's fair. Yeah.
So we're at the end of July now,
Mm-hmm.
and then August is pretty much going to take most of the time moving into the new factory,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks or whatever. And then they're going to get the pros on the line at the end of August, and then premiums and LEs in September, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of October, we also have
Another
Pinball
game.
Expo.
Right. So,
And so,
and people can play it there, and
yes,
that is the telltale sign of a game,
yeah,
is if people want to play it.
yeah,
Add an expo and people who know what they're doing.
yep. I think people are going to get their hands on this at Expo and realize like this is really good. Like
Right.
the concepts are here. It feels great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because fan layouts, I don't know many fan layouts where it's like, oh, I shoot it and it doesn't feel great. Like the
Right.
shots could feel good, but like I guess the first one that comes to mind is Stern's Indiana Jones. It's a fan layout and it shoots great, but the problem is it shoots too great, and
It's
so you come,
boring. It's a
yeah,
boring
it
game.
becomes boring. Where
Yeah.
this is so fast, I think that's going to eliminate that. I don't
The
know. It's
I
so mind-boggling to me because there are
yeah.
some really cool concepts in this game. I just I don't want to like pin the fault on anyone, right? Like, but I'm just trying to like
Well, I'm trying to understand
heck,
because
yeah,
they don't make these decisions in a bubble.
correct.
Uh, I'm also slightly concerned that the pro version, it's a static layout.
Yes, it is. So
So
it's kind of premium or nothing. Well, premium LE or nothing at this point, huh?
well, if you want all the features,
Yeah,
if you're like, hey, I just want a game, but the I would say the pro version of this looks a lot, similar to like I don't want to insult it, but like a home pin version.
yeah.
There is no mech. There's no wow. The doppelganger is gone, and
You mean
that
like a home edition of a Stern, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you said home pin, I thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. Home. I'm talking a home version of a pin, so a home use only or whatever.
Yeah, I
Uh,
get you. What you're saying.
yeah, the pin series is what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but this one, obviously, the mech that changes, it's the fourth shot over from the left.
Okay.
That's the big mech in the game. So the two main things I see different is that mech and the doppelganger,
Yeah.
and you're not getting that on the pro.
Yeah.
However, sometimes people like the pro version better. I remember Game of Thrones, that wasn't that deep of a layout, but a lot of people preferred the fan layout without the upper playfield.
That's true as well. You brought up the doppelganger. We watched the video last night.
Mm-hmm.
As they say in Raya and the Last Dragon, that bug's got a booty.
Oh,
My goodness. What is up with the sculptor
yeah,
and that doppelganger?
it's certainly something.
Someone gave that doppelganger some cake.
Wow. Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah,
It was like, what the heck? And they would like pause the screen on the booty.
the doppelganger. Yeah,
Like, we won't tell you about the XP system, but you should check out this booty on
yeah.
the doppelganger.
Check out the sculpt.
So- I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
uh all right. Just I agree with you. I think the chain state is one of the one I don't know. I can't fathom buying the pro at this point because of
If
that.
you're gonna choose one, pay the extra $2,000 to $3,000. Get the premium.
Yeah.
That's my take. Unless
Yeah.
you want a more economical game that you put in your house, and by say
Yeah.
more economical, still the price of a used car.
Yeah. So overall, what are your thoughts on Venom?
My thoughts are: I hope there is enough time that people are able to get to play it. And I hope there's enough people who are willing to take a risk on a game that is unknown so they can try it out. And because that's the only way this game is going to succeed
Yeah.
is by word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a movie. Sometimes movies, they come a lot of times movies come out the big weekend, and then the second weekend there's a huge drop off. There's like a 60% drop off, and then it goes even lower and then goes even lower. So
Yeah.
they make their money in the first 2 weeks. On movies that people go see it, it may be a lower budget movie, and people tell their friends, hey, this was really good, you should check it out.
Yeah.
And so it has a lot more of a slow burn. That is the only way this is going to work, because the first weekend out of the gate, it's not doing well.
I agree. And I think this definitely I agree with you. This is going to have to be a slow burn on this one. I guess just time will tell.
Right.
And
And I
so
have to, for me, if I'm selling a game, if I'm buying a game, I have to sell a game because
yeah.
I am out of space.
Same.
So many people are in that position. So
Yeah.
when you're taking a risk, you're selling a game that you don't, that you know what you're getting, and then you're committing to buying a very expensive game that you don't know.
Yeah.
There's a very real chance that when these are available, there is going to be announced another game,
Yeah.
and L1's up.
Yeah. That's the other hard part too.
So
Like
that's the hard part.
my that space behind me, Foo
Yeah,
Fighters is going there on Monday. Like
right.
it's coming in. But that's the thing. Like that's where we're at production wise. Is I usually get in on the second run, and by the time the
Hmm.
second run rolls around, you're running into the next game that they're released. I mean, I'm literally the same week.
Yeah,
I'm within 7 days of the release.
yeah.
So I agree. I think
So
it's
that's
just
the
really
challenge,
weird.
right?
That's the challenge. I think I agree with you on it's harder to move games right now as well.
It is.
I don't know what's going on in your neck of the woods, but watching the Utah market, games Stearns that are 6 months old are selling for $6,000. Like
Yeah.
it's not. And granted, I guess some of those are more used games that are for like
Okay, but
they're rentals, but
we need to remember though that that's how it's always been.
yeah,
So the COVID years when people were buying games and then selling them later for 500 to 1,000 more than they paid for them,
yeah.
that's not normal.
No, it's not.
And usually, if you buy a game and you play it for a while and then you take a 500 to $1,000 hit, you're saying, well, okay, at least I rented a game for 5 months, 5 to 10 months,
Yeah,
and okay, I paid $100 a month for the game.
yeah.
So that's not unreasonable, and that's more likely than what it was. So I'm not too concerned about that,
Okay.
but it does
I
make
think
people question whether or not they should immediately buy a new game though.
correct, and I agree. And I think it also comes down to that, like you don't have much room left in your connect or your collection. So it's like, well, if I do see, well, you say you wanted Venom, you would have to essentially start selling now,
Right.
and it's not because it's because you've got to have those couple of months to actually move the game.
Yeah.
I feel like we were so used to you could post a game 48 hours later. That's like a long period at that time.
Mhm.
It would be sold and you would have it out before the end of the week. Now it's like I would even give it used to be I'd give it 2 weeks
Mhm.
just to be safe because if I knew a game was coming in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and now it's like you almost need 2 months to move a game at a decent price.
Mhm.
So I
I
don't know.
I just pulled up Pinside and looked at the for sale stuff.
Okay.
And this is the first page, okay? So you're getting, promoted content. Even promoted content. New in box Godzilla premium 9,699.
Gotcha.
You have Venom LE on there for the sticker price. You have Dialed In at $8,000, and this is Jurassic Park Pro firm 6,500. But
So I'm going to plug this right now because
yeah,
Ted Finley reached out to us via email. He just says he loves the podcast and he wanted to make us aware of his website, pinballprices.com. And we're speaking trends right now. And he actually has a pinball price trend tab
hmm,
that consolidates this information. And he does it actually kind of in eras. So electromechanical, early solid
mm-hmm,
state. So let's take LCD based off of 2022 to 2023. We've seen a -6% decrease.
right,
So the average pinball machine was selling around 10 grand as of 2022. So I'm assuming this is taking into account pros, premiums, and LEs.
mm-hmm,
That's over 500 sales. Um, and as of 2023, about half the sales, so 265, but we're at 9,500. So you can tell that there's a decrease there.
there it is.
Same with Stern DMD. So this is 99 to 15. Uh, 2022 was about 7,800 per game, down to 7,000. About a 9% decrease. It's very interesting. Like if you haven't checked out pinballprices.com, you should go check it out because there's a lot of this cool stuff. Like even DMDs, like
Mm-hmm,
they're not dropping as bad. It's 2%, but it's still a drop from what we've been seeing.
yeah,
And so the interesting part is like alphanumeric, solid state, and electromechanical are the only ones that are really retaining percentage or slightly going up. But then again, like
they're not making any more of them.
they're not making any more,
Yeah,
and really, it's what $500 to 1,000 for an EM.
mm-hmm,
So it's not hard to really keep that maintained or push that a little higher.
right,
So, but yeah, there is that. So thanks, Ted, for reaching out and let us know that price trends tab is pretty cool.
yeah,
Be interesting to see where everything lands at the end of the year. Maybe we should come back around because, like I said, only about half the sales have been done, which makes sense because we're a little over half the year now.
yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Okay,
uh,
so what's your take though? Like
on Venom,
yeah, yeah, I'm so conflicted on this game because I want it to do well and I want them to be able to do more interesting things.
Yeah.
I'll tell you concerns about over reliance on Insider Connected, though.
Yeah.
It's you're getting into a possibility of a DLC type thing
Yep.
where you have to go up and log into a machine and they're like, hey, if you want the extra packet to play this game fully, you have to pay another $30 on your
Yeah.
personal account to activate it on a game on location. I I don't know if that's really going to happen, but
So
it's getting to the possibility that they could do that.
that brings up a different concept in my mind. Would you be opposed to, because like obviously things are starting to trend down. We don't know exactly where the market's going, but it looks
Mhm.
like it's going to be taking a dip for a little bit, right? Like
Yep.
economy's hard, yada yada yada. Um, would you be opposed to if yes, they went to DLC content, but they lowered the prices of the pinball machine? So essentially you're getting a cheaper pinball machine, but if you want the full game, you buy the DLC.
That's the Raw Thrills Big Buck Hunter model,
Correct. So
where
would you be
if
opposed to that then?
I don't play enough to justify if it's like a monthly fee. So
Yeah.
there's two questions. A, I buy it and I buy a la carte, and then I have no time limitations on it.
Okay. So
For
like most video games.
like most video games, right?
Yeah.
If I buy Mario Kart, I own Mario Kart,
Or
and
you
I bought
yeah,
the when the Super Mario movie came out, and I bought the extra levels on Mario Kart. Okay,
yeah.
that was 20
Okay.
bucks or something. Okay,
Yeah.
would
Got
I be
the
willing?
season pass.
Yeah, something.
So
Well,
so they slowly trickle out the DLC, but you automatically get it because you paid for it up front.
right, yeah, and so that's fine. Would I have done that if they said, "Hey, you need to pay $5 a month in perpetuity to play this"?
Yeah.
I would say no. I would not be interested in that because you are 100% eliminating casual gamers on that.
Okay.
Um, I and to be fair, I don't think pinball is as big on location with that model.
Yeah.
So you would have to have a lot of things change for that to be a reasonable concern.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna. I think that those are all valid points. I'm gonna revolve back to the question that you asked me about 5 minutes ago, of what do I think of Venom? I think the problem is there was a cluster of information. It wasn't the right information.
Hmm.
They're not selling this properly. I feel
Right.
like I agree with you. It's gonna be a slow burn. I think this game looks cool as heck, man. Like I really wish. Here's my problem, and I don't know if everyone feels like this. If you're in the same boat, I don't have space. Well, I guess I do have space, but I don't have extra money. And with the last couple pinball sales that have happened with me, with it being really weird and hard to get rid of and whatnot, and I know Elwyn's next, I would rather hold off on Venom and see whatever Elwyn's coming out with next to say, hey, is that what I want versus Venom?
Hmm.
Because I would hate to buy Venom the week of Elwyn's next game being shown. They're like, Venom's getting into your house. And then me have to figure out, well, crap, what am I going to sell now? Like, I've only got a couple months before I get Elwyn's game in my house.
Right.
So I just, the problem is the window's just too small. I feel like on owning, I guess, a game and
Well,
move. I'm
okay.
getting to the point where I don't want to move stuff either. So,
Okay. I will push back a little bit though,
okay.
because we typically buy things after the main people.
Yeah.
The bottom line is Zach does sponsor us, and we certainly are able to buy games from him, but we want him to sell to you guys first.
Yeah.
So if he has another customer, then we're not jumping to the front of the line. We
Yeah.
actually we defer and say no, send it to those guys first. We'll wait.
Yeah.
So that may not be the situation for everybody. It may be the situation for us, but not for everybody.
Correct. But still, like, I would hate to get Venom in my house and like feel like a month or two later, I'd have to get rid of it to get Elwyn's next game.
Well, and now you're saying that because we're assuming that Elwyn will come out with another great game.
True. Well, and that's
He's
the other part too, is like, I'm tired of moving pinball machines. I'm kind of to that point where it's
yeah.
like,
Well, I'm still in a situation where I need to move 5 down and 5 up, and I've been saying that for 6 weeks.
yeah, no, I get you. I think overall, like I said, I'm excited to see where this goes with Venom.
Yes.
I think it's a positive direction in the homeowners camp, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we still have this mentality of location, which is great. Like there needs to be games on location because that's where you test drive. And so,
Yep.
but I think this is more geared towards the homeowner, and I'm excited for that. I think outside of this game, I don't know, they're all starting to trend towards like more depth, but games that aren't wood choppy. And I'm really starting to like, I
Right.
really appreciate that. So
Mm-hmm.
overall, I just feel bad because like, man, this game is really cool. But I don't have any desire to buy it right now because I feel like I'm stuck in limbo. I don't know if everyone else out there feels like that.
Right. It's kind of a wait and see.
Yep. Well, and
So
I'm gonna be at Expo in
right.
October, so I'll
Yeah,
play
and
it
actually
there.
I feel bad. I actually just figured out it lands on our fall break, and
Yeah,
that's one of the premium time offs that we can only let as a in my job there's only so many people that can take the same time off, and it's the same time all the kids are out of school,
yeah,
so everybody wants it. So I am not available to go to Expo this year, which I'm totally bummed at. So I will have to kind of wait and likely play this at Texas.
yeah. And by that time, Elwyn's should be out too. So
Yeah, and I should be able to play a lot of games. I still haven't played Foo Fighters yet. I need to go
you need to
downtown.
come to my house. I'll have it on Monday.
Absolutely. Road
So
road trip to Dinosaur Land.
yeah, because my birthday's on Tuesday. So
Oh,
happy
there you go.
birthday to me.
Happy
So
birthday.
thanks. Well, I think that pretty much covers it for Venom.
I want to hear what other people are thinking though.
Yeah,
So reach out, let us know. Are you thinking of buying it? Or what are your thoughts? Are you, yes, I'm buying it. No, I'm not. I'm waiting to see. Or, is there a possibility, given more information, that you would be interested in buying this?
yeah,
That's my question: is what's your current state? And like the game, having a phase change, are you open to purchasing it in the future given certain things? I'm actually going to throw one more thing out that this is the third fighting game,
yeah.
and we
Like they're
have
fighting game in a row, isn't? Yeah, because Foo
well, because
Fighters,
we
you
had
fight.
Deadpool, and then we had Infinity Quest, and so like the Marvel things is
Are we
is
getting over it?
well, I'm wondering if it still has that same vibe.
I mean,
No.
Godzilla's a fighting game. You take on.
Yeah, and I guess they're kind of all on that level, but this feels very similar. The goals are you are fighting this other superhero
Yeah, yeah, true.
or supervillain or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway,
So,
before we wrap this up, we did have a couple emails.
okay.
Jeff S. He just want to say he enjoyed our most recent episode. He appreciates that sometimes the jokes go over my head, and even though everyone has commented on the same topics, he enjoys our takes on them the most. But he just wanted, for my benefit, he's like, he just wanted me to really know that sometimes you tell a good joke. Like the last one on our last episode was Mike's first name was Magic. And the problem is I think the thing is I'm trying to think ahead in the episode and trying to line stuff up
So
with
you're
where
not
we're
listening
going
to me.
next.
That's what you're saying. You're just not
I'm
really paying
sorry,
attention
Scott.
to me.
I know.
This is comedy gold here.
It is apparently it is. We're getting emails about how the comedy, like it even says, let's see, that is great humor, which I do not need to tell Scott. So this is really for Josh's benefit.
Okay, but that's not my favorite review, by the way.
Oh, well, we got another one from 3 week this week in pinball, just a new 3-star review.
Because we will read them, by the way. If we get
Yes,
reviews, we'll read them.
hosts don't seem like fun. We're
Sad,
a bit preachy, and we
sad
love to
face.
mention we don't drink alcohol, and and when give a chance. I'm reading this straight. Like if you can't type your thoughts correctly, sorry, can't have some games in their house because of children? Question mark. Weird. You're the parent and can make something off limits or play when the kids aren't around. Adam.
Okay, by the way, Adam, I appreciate you taking time to write this.
Yeah, I appreciate it too.
Because actually it does show something that you're actually listening, and I'm totally fine with getting an average review if people are if we're not for everybody, and that's fine. I will clarify that I I don't care if people drink alcohol.
I don't either.
It's
No.
it's I guess it's along those lines of, hey, not my thing, but do your thing. If that's what you're doing. When we're at pinball conventions, a lot of times we are the few sober ones, and this is not me on a higher moral ground. I'm just saying other people are imbibing, and I hang out with them, and it's totally fine. I totally let them do that, and without any reservation. That's their choice. With regard to some games, there are some movies I don't want to watch too. And
Yeah.
there's some games that I don't want to buy because the theme is not for me, and maybe
Yeah.
I just don't want those things too. And so I'm not just putting it on my kids. My kids, what I'm willing to have my kids experience are also the same things that I want to experience too. And so,
Yeah.
like, hey, my friend has an amazing Scared Stiff that he restored, and it is a beautiful game, and I love playing it at his house. But it's still not something. Even if I had my own apartment without any family, no young kids, no wife, I still probably wouldn't own it. And so, and that's fine. I want everybody to find the themes that they like.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what makes me laugh too, Scott?
yeah,
You want the title. So I can't really reveal the information
okay,
that's in the next email, but I can give you the title of the email. It just made me laugh. You ready for
okay,
this?
all right,
Beers at Expo? Question mark.
yes, hey, absolutely. You know what? I will. I go to bars with people. I'm happy to.
Yeah, and
And
someone is
I'm happy
inviting
to
us.
safely drive you home. Well, let's just say
Someone
that.
is inviting us for drinks
Yeah.
at a bar, which I'm not opposed to that. Like, and it's anywho.
Oh, absolutely.
There's more information to it we'll talk about later
Okay.
off
Sounds good.
screen, but it's just funny because I was like, we have a gentleman going off about like we're preachy about no alcohol, and then our next email is,
And
do you want to
again,
have some
it's
beers at Expo?
you're just
Yeah,
getting
why not?
basically a
Yeah.
snapshot of Josh and my home life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your home life is different than mine. So
Yeah.
it's fine. Go do you.
And I love Drew and Ian, and I love the whole poor man's crew. I
Mhm.
don't fault them for
It's a different
it's
vibe.
like it's literally like the second
Yeah.
they start, they're like, "What you drinking?" I
Yep.
love that. I love that. Like,
Check out Poor Man's. That may be your jam.
yeah, it really might be. Check it out, Adam. You might love it.
Yeah.
So we still do retain our 5.0 rating, 5 out of 5 on this week in pinball, even though we got a
Yes.
3-star.
All right. It's
So,
okay. We're still good.
yeah, 42 reviews. You know the number 42.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
It's the answer to everything, obviously. When are
the
we going to get a Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy pinball?
oh man, don't even tease me.
Ooh,
That needs
George, make it
made.
happen.
Yes.
Why isn't George retheming this?
You know what's the number one thing I've heard
By
about
the way,
Venom?
George Fisher, don't panic flip. Just check it out.
Check it out. Uh, you know what's the number one thing I've heard in all this Venom talk? Doesn't
What?
matter. I've heard people say they love Dwight. I've heard people say they don't. They don't like his rule sets.
Right.
I've heard yada yada yada. The general consensus that everyone pretty much agrees upon at this point is this shouldn't have been Venom. This should have been a Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse.
100%. Now,
Yeah,
that's assuming that license is available um and also uh, economical,
yeah,
because that's an A list license.
yeah,
I saw people who watched the latest the Across the Spider Verse or whatever it's. I didn't see it,
yeah,
um, but I heard people posting. I just saw this generation's Empire Strikes Back. That's a
yeah.
big deal.
That is a big deal.
So I do need to watch it. It's on my list, but
I
yeah.
agree. We got some cool stuff lined up. Sadly, we can have some guests join us tonight, but you know what? Life is chaotic, especially during the summertime. So we will be having them on soon. I think things are going to slow down for a little bit, at least news wise. I mean,
Yeah.
things, it is what it is. But uh, hey, got anything else for us, Scott, before we head off?
Okay, I want someone to go play Venom and give me feedback. I want to know someone who experienced it, and that is definitely going to be a lot more than me watching the reveal at Comic-Con. So
Yeah, if
I
anyone's going down to San Diego Comic-Con, like let us know how it is playing down there.
yeah,
Because you only need you live in the San Diego area, you don't need a ticket
yeah,
to get in. The arcade is free. Like if you did not hear that, you can get in. It's just in the lobby. So go play
yeah,
and give us your thoughts.
yep.
So if you want to get a hold of us, we are Loser Kid Pinball Podcast at gmail.com. We are at Loser Kid Pinball on all of our socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, even though I haven't done any videos because I'm not very good at that. I've got a face for podcast. Took a lot of
Hey,
code.
we are
from
video
YouTube.
though. If you want to
I
watch
know.
us talk, you can look at my books and you can look at Josh's games.
Exactly. And there was even some fun little pictures I inserted into the last episode, the Save the Cat episode.
Oh yeah,
The title of this one's going to be Bug's Got a Booty, because
Bug's got a booty. Yeah.
Bug's got a booty.
Okay.
All right, Scott, you
See you
send us
soon.
off.
Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for listening, and go and play pinball.
Choose your host. Change the game.